Now, student unions are as bad, if not worse offenders than labor unions when it comes to political spending of dues that students just have to pay. Students want to go get a degree in nursing or get their medical degree or go to law school or just want a bachelor's of science, and they are forced to join radical student unions, paying as much as it costs to take a course at university over the course of their term. This week, Jason Copping, the Minister of Labour, introduced Bill 32 to the Alberta legislature. Now, this bill aims to do a lot of things. I'll point out two of them. The first point is it's limiting where union activists, radical ones usually, are allowed to picket during lockouts. You might remember when I was in Carsland and we weren't actually able to get gasoline at a facility that is relied on by many, many local farmers. I actually had to walk through the snow, get out of my car with a jerry can of gas to actually cross this picket line and fill up my bale truck that I was using to feed the cows. Now, Jason Copping aims to put a stop to that, but that isn't even the main part of the bill. The second point here is that they're limiting political financing from unions. So folks like Gil McGowan, the president of the Alberta Federation of Labour, can't use union dues to advocate for political projects that haven't been approved by the members who gave him the dues in the first place. You might understand how unions work. You work for an organization and just by happenstance, you're forced into a labor union who will act as a political arm of the NDP. In some cases. Now Jason Copping wants to make it so that those unions, those radical leftist unions, need opt-in permission from workers who tend to be blue collar and tend to be conservative so that they can use their money and actually go support the NDP during elections. Under Bill 32, Jason Copping plans to put a stop to that. Now, I wasn't able to find Jason Copping here on the legislative campus, but I found the second best thing, the Minister of Advanced Education, Dimitrios Nicolaides. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. And you might ask me, Keean, the Minister of Advanced Education has nothing to do with the Minister of Labour. Well, in this case, he actually does. It's a fundamental plank of the United Conservative Party policy book to make student union membership voluntary. Now, student unions are as bad, if not worse offenders than labor unions when it comes to political spending of dues that students just have to pay. Students want to go get a degree in nursing or get their medical degree or go to law school or just want a bachelor's of science, and they are forced to join radical student unions, paying as much as it costs to take a course at university over the course of their term. It's just actually putting students in more debt so that they can fund the political activity of radical student union activists. Well, I found the Minister of Advanced Education and I asked him if he was going to be following suit with the Minister of Labour in limiting political financing of student unions. Here's what he said.
It's something that's obviously in our party platform and something that we're taking a look at.
Now, that was a delightful interaction, and I thank him for answering my questions as honestly as he could at the time, being surprised by me at the edge of the legislature grounds. Now, I want to juxtapose that to something that his predecessor just said in this very house this very same day. Marlon Schmidt, the former Minister of Advanced Education, well, this is what he said.
Mr. Speaker, people would be interested to know that the author of that letter was one Margaret Thatcher. And before I continue to go on, just let me say that I am no fan of Margaret Thatcher. If nothing else goes right for me in a day, Madam Speaker, I can at least count on enjoying the fact that Margaret Thatcher is still dead. And the only thing that I regret about Margaret Thatcher's death is that it happened probably 30 years too late. But the point is,
he actually wished an early death on the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Now, I have my problems with Margaret Thatcher. She signed away Hong Kong to the communists, but I wouldn't wish her dead 30 years earlier. It's a deplorable thing to say about the most respected woman in the history of parliamentary democracy, but it's a deplorable thing to say about anyone. Of course, it's not beneath the NDP, who have said worse things and will say worse things in the future. For Rebel News in Edmonton, Alberta, outside of the legislature, I'm Keean Bexte. Thanks for tuning into our coverage here at Rebel News. I've been kicked out of the legislature today. That's why I'm filming outside of it. If you want to support our Journalist Defense Fund, normally we don't use it against sheriffs. We don't bring security to protect us against law enforcement. But in the case here, it seemed like I almost needed it after they shoved me up the stairs at the behest of the radical Alberta NDP. If you go to journalistdefensefund.com, leftists.ca. You can help us out there.